Um, Good afternoon, everyone. It's an absolute honor to stand before you today as we gather to discuss an issue that's really close to my heart. Our theme today is empowering neurodivergence that captures the essence of what we aim to achieve, that is inclusivity in our society and mostly the corporate sector that we will be discussing today, and how can we equip individuals from diverse neurological backgrounds to get the same opportunities as anyone else like we do. Before we begin, I would like to introduce myself. I am Namrata Suri. I am a 17-year-old student studying at Woodstock School. Beyond my academics, I'm deeply passionate about neurodivergence and advocating for accessibility and inclusion for neurodivergent individuals. And this passion, stems from this belief that every person, regardless of how their brain processes the world, deserves the tools, spaces, and opportunities to thrive and definitely come at par to what we have come to now. And today I'm excited to bring my journey and learnings into this space as we discuss actionable solutions to ensure accessibility of these individuals in corporate sectors. It is my pleasure to introduce the distinguished keynote speakers for today's seminar. I'm honored to welcome Ms. Namrata Mattoo, the Director of Smart System, whose visionary leadership has shaped innovative solutions in the tech industry. And joining us also is Mr. Jasmeet Singh, the Director of SkyLab, renowned for his expertise in advancing technological frontiers with a strong knowledge of the medical sector. To set the stage for our discussion today, we delve into various questions. As I've already mentioned before, to our esteemed panelists, these questions will guide us to explore the various landscapes of opportunities and challenges we must address and what steps we can take. So I would like to give my first question to Ms. Namrata, if that's okay. Yeah. So my first question, I would want to ask that what does accessibility look like for like the neurodivergent individuals, like let's say dyslexic people or autistic people or people who have ADHD in different corporate sectors, in different positions and posts. Like how is it? How is the situation right now?
Shall I answer?
Yeah.
Hmm. So, as per my understanding, it is not an area which has been explored or looked into, except for a few companies. The awareness has been very slow.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel. It has been very slow. So now it is a little, it's a lot better than what it was at least, say, 10 years back. But we still have a very long way to go.
Right. So what do you think are the barriers, right, that are hindering this progress for these people?
Mainly, I think it is the awareness. Once the awareness sets in, then probably if you talk about the corporates, the companies, once the awareness sets in and uh, the steps can be taken towards it.
Right.
Because I feel that India is still lagging behind in this term.
Right.
Yes, there have been small, slow steps here and there, but I really have my doubts that it has grown,
Right.
exponentially at all. Mm.
Right. 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 That's true. Um, Mr. Jasmeet,
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to ask how can technology, right? So in corporate sector, we are heavily basing ourselves on technology, and then there is another area of AI that has come into place
Mhm.
these days. So how can this technology be leveraged to make corporate environments, or maybe acquiring a job for a neurodivergent person for that matter, more accessible to these people, right?
So this already technologies are well, technology is already there in place. Like we already have a learning apps tailor made for these people into our society, like sensor based friendly tools we already have, which first learn their capability of their learning or their where they are into weakness points if they have. So their apps are already there, and a lot of awareness is already there in the market, and a lot of players already working in this industry and its sector.
Right.
to improve the communications. Like like say we have a speech to text or visual guides. We have it so
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
learn and to train them very well, so they can be adapted easily and at the work at par with our in the society as a whole and in the corporate as well.
Right.
So there are a lot of large companies. We talk about large enterprises. So they're already adopting it, and people are working in their environment.
Right. So how much
So
time do
technology
you
is there.
think that will require this technology to get ingrained like in our society, like as a common part, like any any startup that has started or any business that has started, this is one of the key things.
So no, we can't say it's an ongoing process. So it's an
Right.
ongoing process. So as awareness is going out, so when we let's say you are also studying it's the same, you're studying about these people, or when we getting a awareness or we see it in our society,
Right.
so it gives an awareness. We are, let's say we are into IT, so we see it, what are the challenges or how we can break down their challenges for them to adapt. So
Right.
the new ideas are coming and the new platforms are coming in. So now the AI is already there, so
Right.
automatically it learns and to how they adapted, the how they change the behavior, how fast they are doing it or how slow. So it's individually they get the AI is getting it trained and helping them to come fast and coming at par with the other people's,
Mm.
the normal people.
Got
So
it.
it's a continuous process. So we can't say the technology is coming, AI is already there, machine learning is already there. So although AI and ML is just come out of 2 years before, although earlier we have the apps, but these people are taking this AI will be giving a very an add-on advantage we can say
Right.
to learn individual behavior, because we can't keep it everybody on the same place. Everybody has his own growth of the brain or learning. So the AI will work on an individual level, and it keeps give them a faster, you can say, to come up to cover up their
Got it.
challenges.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Um, Miss Namrata, what do you think? What are the challenges that companies face in implementing these neurodivergent hiring practices? So, for per se, let's say if we have 10 job applicants for a position, right, and out of those 10, we have two people who are, let's say, autistic or dyslexic, and uh, there's a schema formed in our brains that, oh, they are different from the common men. What do you think? What are those challenges that they have to face to get into that position? Because I personally feel that when we are going for a job in a corporate sector, and like I've talked to other CEOs as well, they say that the work pressure does not come down for those people, and sometimes because of their different brain structures, right, they cannot handle that much pressure, or that much stress or workload in those positions. So when we're hiring, right, for a position, and we are looking at applicants who are neurodivergent, how do we, like, is there something different? So is there a different process to hire them? Do they have to go through different tests to check their capabilities? What are the challenges that they face?
First and foremost, mainly this is a cruel world out there. So even
Right.
for I hate to, for lack of a better word, even for a normal person, sorry, I'm
Right.
using
No,
this
that's okay.
word, but even if it is, the challenges are there. So I think corporates do not want to risk it in the first place.
Right.
And only those corporates, the companies who are so aware and aware will be able to, and who have that kind of a bandwidth and the budget,
Mm-hmm.
will be able to attempt into this.
Hmm.
Here I'm not talking, this is only with regard to the bigger companies. When it comes to a middle level company, because especially in India, we are such a wide, big
Right.
population is so much, and there are very different levels. I'm not saying everybody gets into Google and to Facebook and to Microsoft, where all these things are into play, right? Come into play. Whether it is neurodivergence or whether it is gender equality, all that is very much available there. Okay, and there is scope for that in improvement. But in a normal, in a mid-sized company, they don't have that patience or the bandwidth to take on.
Hmm.
And if they do, I have not seen any special privileges being given to such people
Hmm.
so that they will be able to cope up,
Right.
cope up. So that awareness and patience and understanding has to come from the company itself, wherein they will again be open to this. Again, coming down to the awareness bit. The more people are aware of it, the more education they receive
Hmm.
regarding neurodivergence will be able to have different criteria in place when we take on somebody
Hmm.
with that. Because as far as I am concerned, the people I have come across a few in my time,
Hmm.
and what I've realized is that these people actually have a very high IQ, and they are very
Right.
focused, and they have amazing IQ.
Hmm.
And it has happened in my family itself. There are two children who I know are autistic in my family.
I see.
Okay, in my
Right.
larger family.
Right.
So, and I've realized that they're extremely intelligent.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, it is for them to amalgamate and associate and understand different sounds and all these sort of
Hmm.
things. That it makes them difficult. And then we realize that, okay, no, I don't have patience to handle that. But from their point of view, it is completely different. And they are
That's true.
really, truly in the word special.
Right.
Special in the sense that have something really out of this world.
Hmm.
But people don't understand that. People don't.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing in the corporate world. The awareness is not there. We need to educate our people, our employees, so that they'll also be very openly able to receive such people and work with them.
Right. Right. Right.
So
So
that is important.
yeah. So this awareness bit, right? Does it
Mm.
come from solely from education, like for example, let's say I'm conducting this seminar with you two, and I conduct this seminar with like 100 different people and talk about it, and I bring on keynote speakers who tell how important this is, right? So would that be enough, or is it some, like, cultural thing that is associated with the Indian society, and we need to
Of
break
course,
that stigma to
of course,
right.
of course. Say in a place like Australia, you
Yeah.
have people with neurodivergence being able to work,
Right.
being able
That's
to
true.
even live alone or to have a life of their own. Is that
Hmm.
possible here?
No.
Very less.
Yeah.
Maybe only in the urban areas because now the awareness is coming more and more. But where else? You send them to a school. Say you send a child to a school with dyslexia, no, a child who's got
Yeah.
dyslexia. Everybody makes fun of him or her.
Yeah.
You know how difficult it is?
Yeah.
Not that the child is lacking anyway. He just has a problem of pronouncing and reading,
Right.
right?
That's true.
But you can find another way to do it. But that doesn't happen. And then there are these so called schools. And then again, you're again put into the same category.
Hmm.
And then you again go back to the same thing. The child is not able to learn. More
That's
so,
true.
he gets traumatized if nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
yeah.
100%. Um, Mr. Jasmeet.
Yeah.
Yeah. How? Okay. So like we talked about the hiring process right now with Miss Namrata. How can these corporate offices, if a person is hired, right, other than
Mm.
um let's say AI, how else can we ensure that the stress and the um workload of a daily life corporate person, like my dad works has been working in corporate since I have
Mhm.
ever known, how this stress can be managed for these people, because again, as Miss Namrata said, that it is not about their intelligence or their capabilities of doing things, it is about how they how they actually divide these tasks and do it, and how they submit, how they present it, their speech problems, their understanding problems, their reading problems. So how can we do this? Like, how can we include them in the team meetings that we have in the corporate sector?
See, that's there, but that's again adaptability. What Namrata says about it. So we have society as a whole is they are not acceptable. So that's a challenge what we're getting it. Even though I was not much known about these or never be thought of these things until unless I come to in touch with you. Then I'd study what yesterday also about these what are the challenges they are getting into corporates.
Right.
So, see, technology is there, but first the internally adaptability comes. The technology will support,
Right.
and we can give them an equal or some repeated job where they are expertise. So there's not always be only a speech has been required. No, there are a lot of other in corporate, a lot of job practice are there where some requirement on the article to be right or some repetitive jobs are there for is there. So where yes, I'm coming to the same point. So they are easily be challenged, but yes, but the bigger corporates can accept. Like SAP company has already separate department. You can study about this. So they already have, and they do the practice of hiring people like this. They know it, their capabilities, and how to overcome. Technology supports, but only when we have a blockage in our mind, especially in Indian society, it won't come out to be, let's say, it's a challenge for us to, because let's say we are into middle level organization. So let's say my HR will hire. So because let's say I'm hiring in a particular department people. So as a large populations we have, so I'm getting about 10 people for hiring and hiring neurodivergent person. So my team will prefer it to the normal person,
Right.
because to train them a time involvement is there and effort is there. Until unless you face the same pain when you face it in the same in the family. So let's say the Namrita also told us that they have a same, they have the family members in the large family. So she understands the pain. So when she gets a chance, she try to do it. So that's an awareness takes a time. Earlier we keep the society separate. Even though when we growing up, so we have a separate schools. Yes, she had the same point. So we are separate schools, so we already separated them. Got my point?
Right.
We are separate. We are not adapt. So our education, our government is not adapting it. So how we government to how my child will be adapt? So let's say my child is also studying a normal school, and when she or sees what this child and they are going from a different school, so they say they are the inferiors, although they are not inferiors. Until they study about them earlier, they have the use cases or they interact they take as an inferior. So since childhood, we make it our mind that they are some inferior to it and they are not capable to work with us. So that's a stigma in our mind.
Right.
So
So
it takes a awareness. So you're doing a very good job on these,
thank you.
but by doing one by one or touching down 100 or 200, 500 people on the service and all, that's good. But as a society as a whole, as an Indian society especially, this has to come from a top, from government perspective. So let's say we have a what you call as we have the policy what you call as CR, where they have to do as a social contribution is there in an enterprise in every company has. So they can put up where they have a yeah. So they can force it up like this that let's say a company has a more than 1,000 employees, they should have a department of keeping a 5 people employee for hiring for these. So that would be forcible. We have to done like this,
Yeah.
then only we can cope up these people in our society, adaptability, and maybe at taking about one decade, about 1.5 decade or 2 decades, they will be easily and working with us as sitting in our the same table, and we having and enjoying together.
Right.
But that issue or that to be come from the top.
Got it.
So CSR, sorry, I'm talking about CSR.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
where the CSR has a forcibly you have to enterprise companies who are earning such amount, they have to contribute to the society about 2%, 3% the tax, separate tax.
Got
The
it.
same way, where the company has a force of 500 people, 1,000, they know it. If the team has a 1,000, they have a separate HR department, so they can accommodate about 5 people. So they make it okay, 0.5%. You have to hire these people. So when they get forcibly, they make it of the chain. What type of job they can give to them? They can't give them a labor work because, but they can give a desk jobs. So easily adaptability. And when these 5 people, let's say an organization comes with 1,000 people, and these 5 people come into the same on the same plate on the same environment. So 1,000 people easily adapt these things, and that cultures move to their families, and then it spreads out. So I think forcibly would be a right way.
That's true.
If you see what and the corporates, when the corporate comes, so let's say if I'm working on a large corporate, the 1,000, 2,000 people, 3,000, let's say TCS or whatever. So when these people also coming and they're sitting with us, they're working with us, maybe separate department, but when we are on the lunch time or when we traveling together or whatever the social activities and all, so we see ki they are okay, they are capable of and they are specialized on a
Yeah.
particular activity. Yes. So we encourage them also. They also feel and they also feel yeah they are the same part of the society. So that will be, let's say 5 people have forced them to 1,000 people to think about them. So easy adaptability, and then 1,000 into five, four members in their family.
Right.
So like this, we can grow, and it takes about a decade if we can this like this policies. That will be a very good adaptive. We can say if we talk about in India, and we have to put them into as an equal uh, rhythm.
Right. So there has to be a deal within like the
A
corporate
force.
and the government sectors.
The forcible, the force. Yeah, government has to put up a law and forcibly, and they can then only we can come because let's say I have a team of 100 people, 80 people. I can't keep a separate department until unless I can specially recommended from my staff or from my family member that yes, try to accommodate him or her.
Yeah.
Then I can see, okay, where shall I can accommodate so that he or she can be with that work she can or he can do, so that there will not be challenge to my existing staff and not to be load on
Not to
that,
be. Yeah.
and she can do a repeated job. So that can be done, but that's a case to case. But
That's
forcibly, that's we have to do some law
right.
that we were right way.
So India is majorly lacking on government policies that can support these individuals into the
Yes,
corporate
yes,
sector.
yes. Because government only putting a pressure to the
Right.
keeping the separate schools. Why
Right.
not? Why not a
Why
school?
not
See, I
India?
tell you, why not? See, in a school, we have an SC and ST pressure.
Yeah.
You have to keep it
Yeah.
a EWS. So they have an EWS department. So you have to keep it, oh, sorry, EWS student, you have to hire about 10, 15, 20%.
Right.
So why not they're putting a 2%, 3% delicious people?
Hmm.
So school will find out the culture. They are the teachers are there, the expertise are there.
Hmm.
So they will do it how to accommodate them and how to teach them.
Hmm.
There are different ways to getting learn, not just by see for blind people we have the scripts how to learn it.
Right.
So everybody has it. Technologies are there, equipments are there. So technology is there. The but the forceability I think where we lacking is from the government side.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay. Um. So, Miss Namrata, like you said that you have closely witnessed few neurodivergent people in your family, children in your family. Do you think that early intervention in this neurodivergence can help the child better in the future? Like, let's say if a student has dyslexia, so I personally have been working in converting CBSE textbooks into dyslexia friendly textbooks, so that I can, and I've started to post them on my forum. I've already done till grade 10th. So these students who are dyslexic, they can easily read those texts, because I personally had a batchmate who, he was very smart, but then because of the resources, he had great difficulties to understand and read. So how early do you think that these interventions should be made or can be made, so that we can support these individuals as a family?
As soon as possible. It's not only the case of dyslexia, it's a question of ADHD,
ADHD.
and the autism spectrum
Right.
also. I think it is important the awareness has to come in the first and foremost in the family.
Right.
Hmm.
the acceptance, awareness, and sensitivity. I think primarily the sensitivity is the issue. That has to come as soon as possible. The moment the parents realize it, and as the child is being brought up,
Right.
the environment that is to be created,
Hmm.
you have to create it. There is no other which way. And obviously, what of all the people who are not participating in it?
Hmm.
And especially do not listen to people who've got to share ki that you do this and theek ho jayega, you do this
Haan.
and theek ho jayega, and again talk against your back and say that the child has gone to waste. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right. Right.
So that
Yes.
the awareness is of primary importance. And here, and do not listen, just go and get information from the right sources, and not go to peers and babas and all and to get it fixed. You
Right.
know, I have seen that. I have
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Completely.
I've known a family who shifted all the way to because of autism. The and he's pretty high on the spectrum. They shifted all the way to Dehradun because Dehradun, the school promised that they're going to include him into a normal school.
Right.
And when they went there and they shifted bag and baggage, when they shifted there,
Hmm.
the school was again putting the child separately in a separate room.
Hmm.
So what did it didn't make any
Mm,
sense.
Yeah.
wrong.
So if the government also has these as
Hmm.
Mr. Bajaj said that earlier, when the person when you have that say that this is that it is very mandatory to have
Right.
particular schools and
Right.
education. Likewise, the checks also should be there. The school will
Yes.
promote, yes, inclusivity, and inside it is something else,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we do not have the checks and inspections now, which happens elsewhere.
Hmm.
We do not have that, and that is very important.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen for the child, and and thankfully the family was able to afford
Hmm.
those. They've shifted to Germany now,
Wow. Yeah.
which was much better. But
Right.
this is the very luck. I wouldn't say lucky, but a little fortunate that they were able to
Right.
do that because they found it too much.
Right.
So they managed to shift, but not everybody has the
Yeah.
same story, no?
Yes.
Here,
So
the
the
parents themselves have no idea.
hmm. Yeah, so the sensitivity has to come to the parents, and more than
See,
sensitivity, it is they should understand the symptoms, because let's say, for example, ADHD, it is a hyperactivity disorder. So some person is very a child is very destructive in mindset, and they just see it as a childhood tantrum, which is not really true. It is something that needs to be diagnosed.
yeah,
So yeah.
especially in today's
Yeah,
world
proper
when there
diagnosis.
is
Yeah,
so much.
proper
Yeah,
diagnosis will come first, and then see the
yeah,
challenge. What we see is ki that uh, see the our society not accept. So the parents is not accepting first.
Right.
They keeping it alone. So let's the parents first accept. They get a proper diagnosis, and then they get aware to their nearby family members. So
Right.
this is how the society, how we get to learn about these ki that what are the challenges and how to handle them. It's not just not the handle I'm saying, but to bringing as an equal child into society. So we see in it that we listen to a lot of stories. So one child is a normal and one is ESG or delicious client is there, but just they are giving a special attention in terms of not to keep it like that you have some not capable. Yes,
Right.
but yeah. So don't show me that he is an inferior, keep
Right.
him as an equal, and the parents should also see that is normal and how to handle it. So psychological, the parent also we get trained first, counseling first. So it's not treated like an inferior but as an equal child, but to handle them is a different way.
Right.
So handling is different, and first the blockage has to be clear from the parent perspective. Then to the family, then the parents will be the same perspective. They will teach to their society as their, and then it will spread out. So the mindset has to be changed,
Right.
and this will
so
start from the
true,
home
so
itself.
true. And
From the home itself.
yeah, and also yes, as Mr. Bajaj saying ki that the education has to come for the parents before and training. So like there is I know an NGO. I know an NGO, my neighbor, who is there's special children in the sense to have a mental issue by birth defect. So this is in the very what to say below poverty level
Mm.
family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so they go from house to house educating the families how to take care
Wow.
of those children.
Wow.
It's
That's
an
great.
excellent thing that she
Yeah.
does, this lady who does. And she is so good at it. And
Right.
it is amazing. Hats off to her. She does it on a day to day basis. She has a team and they go from home to home and they do this. So, likewise for neurodivergence, also, again, they should do the same as to educate the parents before anything else.
That's
And
great.
the training is, there are a couple of NGOs who provide, there is an autism center here in Sarita Vihar also who
Yeah.
does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so which is thing. But again, the awareness, sensitivity, education has to come for the family first more than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the family also gets very scared, na?
They do.
Which is
Scary.
understandable, probably. It is scary.
Yeah.
Of
Mm.
course, it is
How
scary
that how that
how
the
to take
child will
care.
bringing it up, how the education will go, how he will adapt it in the society as a
Yes,
whole.
Yeah.
yes.
So
Yeah.
so first we have to remove that block, mental block from the
Mm.
family first, from their father and mother, and then so if the father and mother accept it and understands
Yeah.
as an equal child, then his brother and sister will
Right.
adapt, and then his
So
society will
true.
adapt. So it's just go from the home itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true.
So again, my personal opinion, I think that even to enforce this in a society like Indian society, which has the largest population, I think it has to somehow come from the government, right? That if if you are becoming a parent, it is important for you to have this education prior to giving birth to the child, so that you don't get flabbergasted when you get to know that your
That
child
won't be a
has
point.
COVID.
Yes, that
Yeah.
also be a one point. Okay, that there should be some, but that can be possible only on urban right now,
Right. Right.
or we can do it like this. Ki, in case of this has to come from the gynecologist first,
Right. Right.
because when she interact with so they can mentally train.
Mm-hmm.
May happen, may not be happen, but at least they give a 1 or 2 hours session. Okay,
Yeah.
this is common as don't take a challenge as that.
Yeah.
So that would be, I think, there are. See, while discussing with all three, we all three, it's a brainstorming is we getting it. So although we are not able to making the policies, but
Right.
yes, this is a one way that the parent also be get trained through Gani or
Mm-hmm.
so 1 or 2 hour session, and some education to be provided from them. Not be education, but yes, awareness I can say.
Right.
Yeah, so true. Because if the hospitals themselves at
Yeah.
that
Mm.
early stages informs them that look, there is this, there are these, and you should do that. Basic guidelines.
Basic
And
Yeah,
another thing,
basic analysis. Yes, yes.
another thing I think that helps is like abroad, you have these groups that you create.
Hmm.
You create these groups, the families that are created, then they literally become families
Yeah.
when they help each other from the
Yeah.
same family. I think those groups should be created. Like we can have a WhatsApp group
Mm.
for anything and everything. Why not have for
Yeah.
this? So that
Yeah, so in
awareness
that,
needs
let's say, yeah, so in that, let's
come.
say, the Namrata is
Yeah.
handling. So let's say the group, they have created a group. So in that, so let's say one child has done some this activity, or one parent has done some particular action or some experiment where they get a good result
Right.
and new learning. So he or she can share on that group so that other family
Yeah.
can try also their own child. So that will be spread for their
Yeah.
society, and then so
Yeah.
that will be
Mm.
a good
And this,
again.
yeah, and dispel all myths regarding
Yeah.
कि ये नहीं करना वो होता है ये होता
Nine.
है and all
Yes, yes,
that.
yes.
Dispel all that and just say how to get on with it to
Right.
move ahead.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And create a better life for them as carers and better life for the child to
Hmm.
grow.
Got it.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
So
Mr. Jasmeet.
even though we in education also, so like we have individual education programs or peer support groups we can create it,
Yeah.
and teachers to be trained. Even though even I know my one of very close friend, she's teaching in DPS school. was
Hmm.
unfair,
Hmm.
and she's handling these people only, these childs.
Got it.
So if you want to connect, I can help you to connect with her.
Got it.
She's teaching for last what 10 to 15 years now,
Wow, that's great. That's great.
so you can get a good input from her.
Right, right. So, like,
Yeah, please continue with your question.
like
Yeah.
you mentioned that one of your friends is working as a teacher for
Mhm.
neurodivergent children in DPS. Um, do you think that there are enough resources for supporting these people for just their education? Like, for example, let's say we talked about AI and technology, and when I actually started, like, let's say 2 years ago, about all about neurodivergence, researching into it, I
Mhm.
found a lot of AI tools which converted the text into, let's say, dyslexic friendly text, or the text that autistic people understand better. Like,
Yes. The tools are there.
yeah,
The
the AI tools are
technology is
there,
there.
but
That's what I'm saying. Na?
yeah,
The technology is there. I'm saying the technology will support you.
yeah,
But the thing is that it will come. Let's say you are doing it, so already when you research it, you find out the
yeah,
solution.
yeah. But then, even though the technology is there, it is limited to people, like, for example, like us, who can access
That's the challenge.
technology,
The urban
the urban
population.
population. But people, let's not even talk about rural population. Let's talk about the CBSE students who do not have, like, I study international baccalaureate and all my books are
Mm-hmm.
online, so it is easier for me to go to those AI technologies and convert my books into dyslexic friendly books and read them. That's fine for me. But then let's talk
Uh,
about CBSE.
I can say no. Even though
Yeah,
you talk about CBSE all, so if you can say the adaptability of online has been happened very fast after
right,
COVID, right?
right,
So
right,
either it's an urban or it's in a rural.
right.
I won't say now is challenge,
Hmm.
and due to AIs came into the market, the tools, free tools or
Hmm.
paid tools are there.
Hmm.
So the education or the teacher it should be there to
Hmm.
use that tool and ki show to the or
Got
get
it.
it trained to the child. See,
Got it.
technology is there and the richness is also there. I'm saying
Hmm.
so. Online is I say after COVID has been adapted. So even my child has now they're doing everything. So
Hmm.
due to pollution in Delhi, so Delhi government has shifted as a rule that
Yeah.
for last 2 weeks we have to go for an online classes.
Online
So
classes.
it's now they are habitual. Now they are habitual. The same culture has been happened to in rural area also
Right.
because in COVID they also studied like this. So
Right.
they know it. Everybody has a mobile now.
Hmm.
Internet is there.
Hmm.
So internet there's no challenge. Mobile is there instead of desktop, and
Hmm.
mobile is there. So
Hmm.
but the teachers or we can say the sort of population we have it, the teachers we have a limitations where they can see a pain,
Hmm.
they so that they can train.
Hmm.
Solutions are there. I'm saying the solutions, the platforms,
Got it.
everything is there.
Got it.
But the education, you can say the lack of teachers and how the teachers comes,
Yeah.
it has to pressure from the government, I
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
So
So
ultimately,
eventually
the
it comes
government
to the
policies come
government.
to government only. Yeah, it
Yeah,
comes. No, see, government.
true, true.
I am not saying ki that the government has to burn the money.
Yeah.
The government has to put up the policies.
Right.
So what I
The
say ki that there
awareness.
were two
Yeah.
policies awareness. So what in our conversation, we taken out 2 points in says ki like one would be that instead of keeping a separate schools, they should
Hmm.
be in the same school. So let's say in the EWS or SC we putting up a quota of 20%, 25%. They keep a
Right.
5% of quota like this
Hmm.
Yeah,
forcibly
true.
in the universities also, in the schools and colleges also. So
Hmm.
one, it is start from the scratch,
Hmm.
right? And the second, when the child reach to after college, when he goes into society for his bed earning, then the society, then the large organization at least, who are about some X figures, they like in a CRS, they should have a compulsory to adopt these people on the job.
Hmm.
So by these two steps, and there's nothing has been burning from the government. It's just that the policy to be shift. So I say
Right.
कि because when you are studying about these, you should file a petition to the to the court that there should be a compulsory or in the group of people you are into
Yeah.
that this can be these two. And see, we are not asking the money from the government. We are
Hmm.
just asking that these policies, if they can adopt it
Should be
in a one
implemented.
decade, in a one
Yeah.
decade itself, in the 10 years down the line,
Yeah.
is they are common and then there's no separate education to be required, nothing. So
Right.
when one new generation comes out in after 10 years, so they are habitual. They understand this is they are part of the society. It's not be challenged, but they are special.
Right. Right.
They are not
100%.
inferior, but they are the special, I'm saying.
Right.
And how to and the technology will grow up in the future very fast. So they will, the chips are already there. That in US is already there.
Right.
Tesla has already done the chip in the brain, and they already done for last 5 years.
That's true. That's true.
So they have improved the spine. They have improved a lot of things. So that they can improve these challenges also.
Yeah.
So that's the technology is there. But the mental blockage we have it in Indian segment that is
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah. So, my last question, Miss Namrata.
Yeah, please.
One question that we have been talking, both Mr. Jasmeet and you have been talking about how government has a role in this, and it is the, like, we have the platform, we have everything, all we need is advocacy for this and some government rules to go forward with this. But India as a developing nation, right, do you think that it is their utmost priority at this moment, or will it be the utmost priority, as Mr. Jasmeet said, in the next decade, to uh, enforce these policies for the neurodivergent individuals? Like, if we even send out mails or petitions to the government, how let's talk about a real life scenario. How possible is this to to actually bring it to the ground?
It is possible. It will be a very slow process,
Right.
but it is possible if we all gather together and to
Hmm.
get it done. One coming from the government.
Hmm.
Look, government, as earlier we've discussed, government is capable of anything. In the sense, when government told us that Aadhaar card is of utmost importance, it became an utmost important thing.
Right.
So, which we all got. There was no other way. We
Hmm.
can't function without one. Correct. Likewise, they can do something in that regard, if not 100%, at least even if the government puts in a little bit of effort and
Right.
says that, like EWS and all that, like
Hmm.
this awareness comes, that even the student, like give grants to uh,
Mm.
in education in while doing B.Ed,
Hmm.
okay, for bachelor's in education,
Yeah.
give some kind of a grant if you go on to this
Yeah,
particular
especially
field,
yeah,
yeah, in a
yeah,
specialized
great.
field. You can do that.
Hmm.
You can, it is possible. Like you get a grant to do a PhD, you can get a grant to do a B.Ed and
Yeah.
say that, okay, if you do a neurodivergence, you will get an X amount of thing from the government.
Yes, yes. So that can be
So
a
that can really help.
reward. It
That
should be
can,
rewarded. Yes, it should be rewarded on
yes.
the education level also.
Got
And
it.
it's so important. Teachers being gurus, once teachers come in full force, a
Yeah.
lot of things can happen.
Yeah.
First the parents, then the teachers, then comes the workforce.
Yeah,
I
that
think
comes the
Right.
workforce. Yes,
Right.
yeah, the
yes, yes.
workplace comes much later,
Right. Right.
much later. So, and it is very difficult until and unless this awareness is brought about. And yes, a government can do it in a very high level,
Hmm.
in a macro level, and in a micro level, we as urban population can start by having these groups, these awarenesses, and spread the word as much as you can,
Right.
because nothing has come without word being spread, no? In every field, whether it is gender, whether it is for special children, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So earlier they used to outright say handicap. Now at least they say
Yeah.
specially able. Oh, I
Mm.
don't know whether it helps or not, but it definitely sounds better.
Yeah. Hundred
Yeah,
percent.
So this awareness took a long time in coming.
Hmm. Hmm.
It
Hundred
took a
percent.
very long time in coming.
100%. Agreed. Agreed.
Just you tell me, when was the last, I mean, the how early did you start watching the Special Olympics? I think as recently, or maybe not.
Yeah.
The Special Olympics
Yeah.
now we are very
Now.
happy. Oh,
mm,
India's won so many medals.
Yeah.
This is after how many decades after India got independence? Seven, eight
yes,
decades after India got
Hundred
independence.
percent.
We're watching. We are so proud of the Special Olympics.
Yeah.
So it will take a very long time.
Yeah.
But yes, if you start, at least some work can be done, because the frustration and the difficulties these people face in India
Hmm.
is extremely extreme. It's appalling. It's appalling.
Yeah.
And if they get that awareness, it will their life will be at least a little easier.
Agreed.
I keep saying that it is better if you are born abroad for this, because at least acceptance is slightly more there, and workplace you can they can work even if it's in a coffee shop, even if it is cleaning windows, they'll get a job.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Here they don't. I'm sorry, the corporate world is very harsh.
Yeah. Here they don't.
We have to
Yeah.
push them a pressure on them.
Yes, there was somebody who was having difficulty in speaking and extremely intelligent when I interviewed him for a engineer position, and I literally had to fight with the team to take him on. And today he is such an asset to the company. The only problem is he can read, write well, he is intelligent, but while he's speaking, he has a problem. He stutters.
Got it.
So he takes some time, and people don't have the patience for that,
Yeah.
you know. So these things, when you have to fight to get somebody who's stuttering, forget somebody who's got
Yeah.
neurodivergence.
Neurodivergent problem. Yeah.
So I'm talking about at the grass level.
Yeah.
We are not Geo, or we are not Microsoft or Google,
Yeah.
and a majority of companies are mid-level
Small,
companies.
yeah, small, yeah.
So so it is difficult, but yes, we can go there if we have the awareness and sensitivity.
100%. 100%. Thank you so much. It was actually lovely talking to you. I felt so connected. It was.
Same here also, and I
Yeah.
get the more of learning because I
Yeah.
have also not think about these. You force me, or we can say, I thank you
No,
to
no,
think
thank you.
about these, and when I cross it, so definitely, uh, uh, yes, at least I have think about them about an
Right.
hour,
Right.
well, and then change of learning from Namrita also, and taking an input from you also. So
That is because I have, yeah,
brainstorming has been
I
done.
have seen
Yeah,
that. Only because I've seen that. If I
Yeah.
hadn't, I wouldn't have known.
yeah.
Unfortunate it
So
is. But
so
thank you
that's
so much.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
thanks, Amar.
Thank you
Thank you
so
to
Thank
much.
both
you,
of
Yeah.
you all. And thank
thank
you,
you.
Nivedita. You're doing a great job
Of
at
course.
such a young age.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And wish you all the best for your future.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye,
Have a
Namrita.
great day.
Bye,
Bye
Namrita.
Bye
bye.
bye. Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.